Okay, so this is a 1 versus 1 23k battle, MM rules. So basically no art, no Ellie. Max 8 heavy cav, max 10 archer units of any kind, that includes HO. Max 5 HO. So I thought he would bring some heavy chariots and some Ellie. That would have been his best, most powerful army against Rome, but he's just gone 8 heavy cataphracts, which is still pretty powerful because you've got the speed and the shock of the cataphract, plus the mace attack and the armor. So they're a pretty powerful unit. So I was expecting elephant and chariot, so I brought 1, 2, 3, 4 archer auxiliary, and I think I've got gold on all of those and 2 XP on 2 of those. This one here, and I think this one here. And I've got 3 Roman archers in the front line there, which I put gold and 2 XP, I think. 4 urbans, because I wanted to save my money for the triarii and the archers. 4 triarii there. 5 Praetorian cav, gold. So he's just got a front line of 4 silver shield pikemen, 2 silver shield legionnaires. I think they're gold. So the main threat to me is the cataphracts. So I've just started firing at his archer units, and I think I've switched to firing flaming arrows at his cataphracts. Otherwise my archer unit's basically wasted unless I can take out some expensive units with them. It's pretty ineffective really, because cataphracts are so heavily armoured. So I've seen him isolate it, so I went in for a charge there on his left flank to see if I could catch those 2 off guard. I didn't execute it that well because I was trying to micromanage my triarii over here to form a defensive line across here. They're still in loose formation, so once I've routed that unit, I'll withdraw this cavalry squad here to bring it around and
press forward so the spirit of his army is
attack these cutters over here. So he's just pushed straight through and routed that unit. I've put these triarii into tight formation so they fight better, and I've sent these back now to see if I can route these cataphracts here from the triarii and the Praetorian cav assault. If you surround them enough and stick enough spearmen in the fight, you'll lower their morale enough to actually rout them without actually killing many of them. So he's trying to do the same here, sort of rear attack me and surround me. I think at this point I realise my general is close in the fight, so I'll try and withdraw that. So I've got a hell of a lot of triarii there, and they've got gold and 1 XP, so they're pretty effective. They're not going to rout easily either. So yeah, so it's starting to make those catters panic, and they're routing. I just threw an urban here to block off his advancing infantry, and my Praetorian cav are dying off pretty easily. So yeah, and he's still flanking me with the archers. I'm not microing my archers as effectively as I could be at this stage, because I'm trying to concentrate on the infantry cav fight.
Much better to have lived.
Ideally I'd be sending him around to fire at the back and fire at his archers, but at the moment I think they're just firing at will at any unit. So yeah, he's routed my Praetorian cav. I think they're panicking from the flaming arrows more than anything. So I've still got a lot of triarii, so his cav aren't really going to be a threat, it's more his infantry. It's got another triarii unit that's routed. So I mean, they'll have no problem taking out a cataphract because they're gold 1 XP, so they're pretty powerful. You can see the way it's affecting the cataphract's morale. They seem to just be routing even when they contact. So yeah, he's pretty much wiped out my infantry. I've still got a couple of scattered units that have rallied, and some of those are urban still with Pele, so they can still be effective. But I've got a massive archer advantage because I upgraded them so heavily, and I've got archer auxiliary. And he's basically wiped out a cav. His cav's basically wiped out, so he can't really do anything to take my archers out easily. So I decided to start running that Triario because I know it's going to rout if he engages the heavy infantry. It's winded, and his units are warmed up, so it's got a bit of a stamina problem at the moment, but it's still a faster unit because it's less armoured. So I'm relying on its speed as a unit to outrun the infantry. Just keep running it, and also while I'm running it away, I'm getting them to turn their backs to my archer fire, which means I'm going to kill them off easier. So I'm just running these 2 infantry units out on the side here to try and see if I can rout his archers so they're less of a threat to mine. So I don't want my archers being killed off at this stage. So yeah, my archers are so heavily upgraded, and shooting them from behind, it's no problem taking out his infantry. Well, they're not really getting that good accuracy from that far back. So as long as I can keep the pressure on those archers, they're not firing at my archers, so my archers can do my work against his heavy infantry. Once his heavy infantry are gone, then I can just attack his archers with mine, and mine will win. So I'm going on a wild goose chase after his archers up here. So at this point I messed up the micro and I turned around and engaged, so I lost that unit.
Units attack!
So he's worked out he has to chase my archers down like I'm doing to his. He probably didn't need all those units chasing mine. He probably could have just sent one phalanx or one legionnaire after it, and the rest he could have chased my archers down with. But my archers still might have routed him because I just had so many of them and they're so heavily upgraded. So I make another bit of a micro error here, and I don't run my archers into place. And then I put them into tight formation instead of letting them fire. So I decided to flank with this one. It was a little too late though. So it's routed his, which is good. So I'm just chasing those down. My archer units rallied back up here. So I still want to take out his archers, otherwise they're going to work my numbers down and they're going to be less effective against his infantry over here. So I've still got a Triario up here, which is being shot from behind. So I just rout his archer unit and he routs my Triario, which is lucky. Moments later I probably would have lost that unit. Then he would have had 2 archer units to deal with. So I take it off flaming arrows so I can get better accuracy against his archer units. got a massive upgrade advantage there because I've got 2 XP on them. Plus we've got a number advantage. So some of my archer auxiliary are out of ammunition. So I just set them to skirmish to give me some time to take his archers out. I decided I can charge his archers to stop them from firing and also put these guys in a strategic position. He's decided to recharge me, so I'll just pull it straight through that line and it routes it anyway. Just lucky. So I've got 2 XP on these ones, so their morale is pretty high. It's hard to rout them. Just realise I can keep these guys running at me. While they're chasing me, they're not. While they're chasing me, they're not in this fight, so these guys are more vulnerable. So I've charged these in. I'm just going to route his unit here. So this is one of the good things of going archer heavy and archer and upgrading auxiliary. When it gets to a close battle at the end, you almost always win because they have such high stats. You can use them in the melee quite effectively. Just in 15k they're pretty expensive, and in 23k you can afford to upgrade them pretty heavily but still have enough money to buy your proper army. Let's take this opportunity to say I think 15k CWG is really shit. I think it's a completely imbalanced game format with massive faction advantages, and it's just all about cav archer micro. There's not really any strategic play to it. Not as much, I think, as 23k. There is strategy to it, but most of it's just cav micro. So he's routed that unit. But I mean, I've got enough stats here to rout that unit if I close in on it. So he's routed my archer auxiliary then. They're attacking him from both sides. But they'll most likely re-rally. Decides going for a melee charge here. Once again, the archer auxiliary doing the dirty work for my army. So that unit's rallied, so I've just got 2 Silver Shield Legionnaires to deal with and 2 archer units. The 2 archer units aren't going to be a problem if I can shoot them first. So if I was him at this stage, I would have been putting these 2 units in loose formation and charging down my most vulnerable unit, or my biggest archer unit, so then that unit can't fire. But he probably hasn't looked closely at my units and realised these guys are out of ammo. So the only real ranged threat to him is the Roman archers here. So he's decided to test Udo. Which is going to not assist with his stamina recovery at all. So I've decided to take these out to charge these down because I know they're going to beat 1-1 in the melee.
Your victory could not have been more down.
And he's decided to admit defeat here because he's realised that the stats outweigh him at this stage. So that's a good game to Timur. Evil Horde of Timur.